Hello student, welcome to our YouTube channel initiated by Gnan Manjari Modern School. Well, we have started that unit number 4 and it is about how the traders became rulers. In that we have discussed that policy of Wellesley at expansion, and in last session we have discussed that. So let me revise something about that when Wellesley came to India as a Governor General, he just wanted to expand here that trade and business in India. So for that he just introduced that subsidiary alliance, and in that, according to that subsidiary alliance, that princely states had to take one British representative in their royal court, and in this way what happened, they became the enslaved, they became the slave of that Wellesley's policy or Britisher, and without paying a single money, they just means that Britishers put their army in royal court. So that happened during that rule of that Governor General. After that what happened, many states became victim of subsidiary alliance, and among them Nizam of Hyderabad was the first one who just became the victim of this subsidiary alliance. After that Mysore and Ayodhya and many states were there in this subsidiary alliance, and some of the state opposed for that, but they couldn't do anything as that Wellesley was so powerful. Nizam fought with Marathas, and Marathas started fighting among themselves. After that what happened, Mysore was forced to become subsidiary state, and Maratha chief among themselves after death of Nana Fadnavis, and divide and rule policy was introduced, and after that the other state like Ayodhya, Gorakhpur, Karnataka, and Farrukhabad also suffered a lot because of this subsidiary alliance, and this Wellesley expanded his policy at 7 years, and within 7 years that Wellesley just got his rule over India. He just came into India with the purpose of trade and business, but because of his sharp minded policy of Wellesley's policy, he just got rule over all over the India. Up to this we have discussed here that Lord Wellesley's photograph has been given in your book. Now I am reading on page number 20, and today we'll discuss about how Britisher expand their rule in India. The key points have been written here. I'll give you time to note down these things. Let me read this thing here. After expansion of British rule in India, how Britisher expanded their rule all over the India. Let me read. After finalizing the subsidiary alliance treaties with Mysore, Nizam of Hyderabad and Maratha chieftains, the British moved towards northern part of India. Now Nizam and that Marathas were there under control of Britishers. So after getting success there, this Maratha and Hyderabad Nizams getting success there, Britisher moved toward northern part of the India. They entered into a treaty of friendship with Nepal, sensing a threat of it. They thought that Nepal was the threat for them. They thought that Nepal was not safe for them, so they wanted to make friendship with Nepal. So they moved toward there. They fought many battles to secure the frontiers, friendly relation with the Sikh kings. After that what they have decided? They have decided to make friendly relationship with Sikh kings. Maharaja Ranjit Singh helped them to win the battle with the Afghans and establish their rule in Sindh. And here we got one character, very powerful king Maharaja Ranjit Singh was. So he helped Britisher to just win the battle of Afghan and establish their rule in Sindh. The British had an ambition to capture the Sikh kingdom, which was a very powerful kingdom, but they couldn't do so as long Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive. Now Britishers' next target was Singh kingdom, but Maharaja Ranjit Singh was so powerful, so Britisher couldn't achieve that Singh kingdom as Maharaja Ranjit Singh was alive there. Now on page number 21. So they kept friendly relations with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So now what they had to do is, Maharaja Ranjit Singh was so powerful, and he was not even ready to give his states or Singh regions to Britishers. So Britishers decided to make a friendly relation with Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh was a strong ruler of that time, and he was so powerful and strong ruler of that time. He had set up a strong army with the help of European officers for the protection of his state. So he just got that idea or got hint that Britishers would come to his state and would seize his state. So what he had done that he had set up strong army with the help of European officers, and for the with this he just protected his state. He had attained victories over many nearby states. After his death, Punjab suffered anarchy. When he was alive, Punjab was secured and safe from Britishers, but after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, Punjab suffered a lot. Governor General Sir Henry Hardinge came to India and brought the Sikh rule completely under the British rule, with policy of interference and annexation. After what happened, Governor General Sir Henry Hardinge came to India and he just brought all the Sikh kingdom under his rule and under the British rule with policy of interference and annexation, and this way he just started or he introduced the policy of interference and annexation of British rule in India. So this way Britisher expanded their rule in India after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So this is the paragraphs I have read over here. Here we have that keywords. Let me revise it, and after that you will have some time to note down. See, British moved to northern part means after succession or after getting success in Hyderabad and in this Marathas state, that Britisher moved to northern part, and their next target was Nepal. They wanted to make friendship with Nepal, friendly relation with the Sikh kingdom, and they also thought that the Sikh kingdom was so powerful, so they wanted to make friendly relation with Singh, and with that we have here Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who helped Britishers to win the battle with Afghans, and this way they had good relation with Britishers. Britishers wanted Sikh kingdom, and the purpose of the Britisher to make friendship with Maharaja Ranjit Singh and to make the friendship with Sikh kingdom is they wanted this Sikh kingdom. Those kingdoms were very powerful at that time. Set up strong army, help of European officers. So what happened? Maharaja Ranjit Singh got the smell of all the techniques and trick of Britishers. So they just Maharaja Ranjit Singh just set up a strong army with the help of European officers to protect Punjab. Punjab suffered a lot. So now what happened after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh? Punjab became that alone there, and the Britisher got a rule over there, and this way Punjab suffered a lot after the death of Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Governor General Sir Henry Hardinge came to India, and as soon as he came, he just got complete rule over Punjab, and he brought all the Sikh rule, means he just completely covered all the Sikh nations, and this way the policy of annexion was introduced. Students, now you have some time to note down this thing. Another topic is Dalhousie's policy of annexion. Let's start that. Next topic is Dalhousie's policy of annexion. We left lastly that Governor General Sir Henry introduced that means when he came to India, he just ruled completely on Sikh state and under the British rule with policy of interference and annexation. So, what was the policy of annexation that will be given in this point? Let me start it. See, Dalhousie's policy of annexation. Here the picture of Dalhousie has been given, student. You can see this. I am reading on page number 21. The aim of Wellesley's policy of expansion was to enslave the native kingdoms without using much of the British resources. So, the prime aim of Wellesley's policy of expansion, which he has just introduced in India. So, the aim was to become slave of British rules and was to enslave the native kingdom. To enslave means to become slave, native kingdom without using much of the British resources. So, they wanted to make slave that they wanted to make the Indian state their slave without using that British resources. The states that accepted the subsidiary alliance considered the British as their friends. So, those states who just accepted that subsidiary alliance, they became the friends of Britishers. Eventually, in the absence of internal or external threat, they became irresponsible and their administration started deteriorating. And by joining that Britishers subsidiary alliance, what happened? The Britishers interference was there more and more, and they just started feeling their administration deteriorating. Deteriorating means became less. The outcome of the conspiracy of the British was the anarchy in many princely state. So, many princely state suffers a lot. Now, that princely state got disturbance just because of this British rule or subsidiary alliance. The Indian ruler got trapped in it. The British got an excuse to start interfering into the internal affairs of the state of the pretext of putting an end of anarchy. Now, what happened? They just introduced the subsidiary alliance, and because of that Britishers started interfering in the work of that or in the internal affairs of Indian states. They annexed many states under the same excuse, and because of that what happened? They got many states of the India. Thereafter Burma, now Myanmar, and regions of Punjab were also annexed. Punjab was also covered or annexed. If the king died without a son, his state was annexed, and there was a rule that if king was died and if that king didn't have any kind of that son, so that state of that king was annexed. In this way Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur etc. became the victim of policy of annexation, because they didn't have that heir, or we can say they didn't have that any person who could just handle the state after the death of the king. So, this way Dalhousie's policy of annexation worked. Let me write some keywords of it. So, the first is Wellesley's policy of expansion was to enslave the native kingdom. Britishers became friends Britisher started interference internal affairs of Indian states. states were trapped the states of Punjab were also annexed. King died without a son. Satara, Jhansi, Nagpur became the victim of policy of annexion. So up to this we have discussed that annexion policy's purpose was to enslave the native kingdom. Britishers got friends, or we can say Britishers became friendly with those person who had those people or those state who just accepted subsidiary alliance. This way Britishers started interfering into the internal affairs of Indian state, and this way states were trapped, meant the condition of all the states were miserable. Punjab got annexed, and the king, that was the rule, that king who died without a son, so that state was there in the rule under Britishers as according to the policy of annexion. So this way Satara, Jhansi and Nagpur became the victim of the policy of annexion. Student, you have some time to note down this thing. On page number 22, Dalhousie is aimed at helping the British trader to make huge profit from the trade of tea, coffee and cotton by capturing the area that produced these commodities on a large scale. So Dalhousie's main purpose was to cover all the area which produced the tea, coffee and cotton, to consolidate the British rule in India and to run the administration smoothly. Many changes were introduced by Dalhousie in India. So Dalhousie had done many changes in India to just make India the world's best trade center. And what were the changes there? During his tenure, the first railway was started between Mumbai and Thane. So when Dalhousie was there, at that time the first railway was started, and that was started between Mumbai and Thane. Modern postal system started in India, and wireless system between India and England too was introduced during his tenure. During Dalhousie's time, that postal system was also started, and that wireless system between India and England too started when Dalhousie was there in India. He passed laws to ban child marriage and advocated widow remarriage. So this was good thing for people at that time, that he banned that child marriages and he allowed widow to remarriage. English education spread in India during his time. That was also good thing, that English education was spread all over the India during his time. The first 3 universities in India were established in Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata in year 1857. So first three universities were established in Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. These reforms were basically for the expansion of British rule and ease in administration. The purpose of this reform is they wanted to just spread Britishers rule all over the India. Although Indians benefited later on, they had to suffer a lot with the introduction of British reform. They got many benefits, Indian got many benefit later on, but earlier initially they had to suffer a lot because of the introduction of British reform. So, here we got many new things which Dalhousie introduced when he came to India. So, which were there? Let us see. Let us start. So, first of all, the trade of tea, coffee and cotton. He just wanted to capture that thing. He introduced or he started first railway between Mumbai and Thane. Modern postal system and wireless system between India and England was started. English education was introduced. Ban on child marriage. Widow remarriage advocated. Three universities was started. Where it was started? So, it was in Kolkata, it was in Chennai and in Mumbai. So, these are the changes that Dalhousie did during his tenure, and these were very good changes. We can say that though the purpose of Dalhousie by doing these good things was to just spread the rule of Britishers there, and because of that initially that Indian people suffered a lot. After that they got many benefit of that, but initially they suffered a lot. Students, you have some time to note down this thing. The trade of tea, coffee and cotton, first railway which was introduced by Dalhousie during the time of his, and that railway was started between Mumbai and Thane. Modern postal system he introduced. After that English education in India he introduced, and wireless system between India and England was introduced by him. Three universities was established during his tenure, and where they were established, so Kolkata, Chennai and Mumbai. So, in these three cities, the Dalhousie just established that university. Dalhousie just banned on child marriage, and he allowed widow to remarriage and started their new life. And these are the changes that Dalhousie did during his tenure. The last topic is dissatisfaction of people. So, people got reaction, means we got different reaction. People were not happy with these changes. So they were not satisfied with these changes. Let's see. After the policy of subsidiary alliance, Dalhousie's policy of annexion shook the whole nation terribly. So subsidiary alliance was all enough to move the nation, but after that what happened, that policy of annexion was also introduced and that shook whole nation terribly. This resulted in the dissatisfaction among the people toward the British. So people were started expressing their dissatisfaction toward Britishers. You must have seen the film Kranti and Mangal Pandey. You have seen this kind of movie Kranti and Mangal Pandey. If you have not seen, then try and see this movie. When you see this kind of movie, at that time you will get idea that how Britishers were very smartly introduced their techniques into our India. At this time the people were suppressed under the dictatorial regime of British, means British became powerful and they became a slave. In addition to that, the reforms made by Dalhousie added fuel to fire, and these are the changes that Dalhousie did, and this British reform just added fuel into fire. Different people reacted differently to railway facility of post and telegraph and western education. Orthodox people felt that the British wanted to destroy their culture. People reacted differently. Some people accepted those changes, some didn't accept. Orthodox people thought that Britishers wanted to get rule over India completely. That's why they have introduced these new policies or new rules or new reform in India. The reforms done by British were basically for running the administration smoothly. The purpose of introducing this new British reform is, the purpose was that they wanted to rule, or they wanted to just run administrative work very smoothly. The dissatisfaction of people had reached a point of saturation and they were in the state of rebellion, which resulted into the freedom movement of 1857. People were so angry or so frustrated and so rebellion, so they just this thing or this feeling of rebellion was converted into or resulted into the freedom movement of 1857. So we can say that the freedom movement of 1857 was started with the feeling of rebellion of the people against that British reform. So what the key points we got here is, different reactions of the people became rebellion orthodox people rejected British reform policy purpose was to run administration smoothly. The rebellion which resulted in the freedom movement of 1857. So this is the dissatisfaction of people. Different reactions of the people were getting there. People became rebellion and orthodox people rejected British reform policy. Purpose of introducing that policy was to run administration very smoothly. So this rebellion kind of people, that feeling was resulted into the freedom movement of 1857. Student, you have some time to note down this thing. Okay students, so we have ended this unit here. Now it's time to give you homework, and your today's homework is you have to write the answers of question number 4 and 5 which is given in exercise. So homework I am writing here. So with this number 4 and 5 exercise, we have completed this unit number 4 here. We'll meet again in next video. Till then, take care. Thank you.